Hey there, folks. Welcome to our run of Alas for the Awful Sea, inspired by G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward's Invisible Kingdom. Before starting in on things, I wanted to do a round of introductions for folks watching. If you could give your name, your pronouns, and if you wanted to recount for us the tale of that you have added to your character's tale sheet, that would certainly be helpful.
Hi, I'm Chet. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns, and I am playing Mix Blyss, who uses they, them pronouns. They're the bosun of the Fast Folly. Is that what we decided on? Fast Folly?
Yes, I think that was what you had posted.
Oh,
into the
yeah. That's what my suggestion. If we want to go with that.
I mean, you're the person in charge, so you actually get to decide.
There we go. It's the Fast Folly. And recently, Bliss's inspiring speeches have really been driving their compatriots to act above and beyond. And they were able to inspire. Inspire is an interesting word to use. They were able to urge forth Zarza to do some repairs on the outside of the ship, and most recently have roused their compatriots, roused their crewmates to action to travel to this perhaps unknown destination.
Hi, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight I'm playing Maze. He uses she, her, or they, them pronouns. They are the ship surgeon, and I think last week we saw her deal with the pressure of her kind of oldest aboard. The captain gets severely injured, and also this new arrival react traumatically to the presence of her best friend, who is Panax. And I think, maybe we saw her ability to make observations under pressure that others might not make. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm Ben. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Panax, who also uses he, him pronouns. Panax is the ship's cook. He is a member of the Abri, a plant-like species that has something of a shared consciousness in their natural state, but he has cut himself off from that, which is being complicated by the arrival of another green Abri, who Maze helped out in the medical bay, and who expressed a instantaneous distrust and dislike of Panax. That probably has nothing to do with the danger of them becoming psychically connected to the angry remnants of their dead planet. Probably not.
Yeah, hey there, and I am Steven, he, him. I am GMing this run of Alas for the Awful Sea. To wrap things up, this game is hosted through The Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community mostly focusing on role-playing games of the indie and OSR varieties. Besides publishing a zine called The Codex, it also puts out several podcasts about role-playing games. And of course, it organizes a gaming calendar, which this and many other games are organized through every month. The calendar is open to non-members, so feel free to jump on over there through the link below if you're interested in playing with any of the folks here tonight or any of the other people on the Gauntlet. All Gauntlet games make use of an open door policy. We are all here to have fun and tell a story together. If something happens in real life or you become uncomfortable at the table, feel free to step away as long as you need. No one will hold it against you, and you are free to return whenever you feel ready. If you're able to let the group know if and when you expect to return, that would be helpful for the rest of us in terms of framing scenes, but we understand that sometimes emergencies happen and it's not always possible. Besides the open door, we also make use of several other safety tools, which I'm not going to get into too much detail about because we've gone over them many times at this point. But they are the X card. If for any reason you are uncomfortable and need something removed from the fiction, feel free to make an X sign, either with your arms in the chat or say X card. We'll ask usually what you want removed, and but there's no need to justify it. Then we are also making use of script change, which is basically making use of video editing terminology to help us talk about the fiction. Pause is just calling us for us to take a break, talk about where we're at, make certain that everyone's comfortable. Fast forward asks us to kind of cut the scene, maybe work out what happened in broad strokes, but move on. Rewind asks us to kind of go back and retcon or add something into the fiction. And then frame by frame is basically asking us to continue with a scene, but to kind of be alert and regularly check in to make certain that everyone is comfortable. Finally, we're making use of lines and veils, which is a living document we put together before play and update regularly to make certain that basically is a reminder for us of certain subjects that we want to pay particular attention to as we play. That pretty much takes us through our kind of whole opening spiel. And where I wanted to kind of open before we kind of jumped into things is I think that we sort of open on a sort of panoramic shot of the Aurelian Crown. And I think, if we are kind of just drawing on the language of comics here, it's probably like a 2-page spread of a kind of large gas giant that is surrounded by a large ring of meteors and planetoids. And this is the kind of it is the ring itself that is known as the Crown, where most of the inhabitants live. And I'm curious, as we kind of get this shot, the people of Aurelian Crown kind of live scattered across the various planetoids and meteors that make up the Crown. Miss Blyss. I'm wondering what like what I'm just thinking of here. Yeah, how have they managed to build like how have they managed to connect together some of the larger planetoids in trade and communication?
I think that it is because of the unique metallic structure, metallic composition of the rings of the planet. It acts as a amplifying beacon that it's sort of a waypoint, a universal waypoint in the system, and facilitates both travel and communication.
Mm-hmm. And as we see, one of the kind of smaller vessels that are used by travelers along the Crown, not for the interplanetary journeys, but for those that kind of, well, you might say hunt and fish some of the native life to the Crown for nutrients. I'm wondering, Maze, what is the great creature that the residents of the Crown hunt as their main foodstuff?
So I think there are colonies of these gigantic jellyfish-like creatures that kind of float slightly below the atmosphere of the gas giant. So maybe individually they can be quite large, but I think when they gather in groups, they kind of are worth going after by these I don't know, hunters or fishers, or I don't know, deep gas explorers, however we frame them.
Mm-hmm. And Panax, as we kind of move away from the kind of great population centers of the Crown to its outlying kind of mining colonies, how can we see that the Crown is slowly being what's the word? Is slowly being degraded by the operations of the Exaba Mining Corporation?
I think on the outskirts of the system, I'm not sure how many habitable planets there were before, but there's one less now. There's a planet that looks almost reminiscent of like almost a cored apple. It is just about hollowed and tunnels dug through. There's barely anything left. It can't even support an atmosphere. And you can already see this corporation setting up around the next planet in the system.
Cool, great. And I think as we kind of see your ship, the Fast Folly, begin to fly into the space of the Crown, I think I wanted to shift over to, well, where we left off last time. Maze, you had been taking the remains of, let me see here, I believe it was Mark was the one that was that had died. You were taking them to your med bay, right?
Yeah, so I think the idea was to maybe do some kind of post-mortem to figure out exactly what had happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that, so I am curious, like, is this like we have a veil on graphic gore, so we're not going to get into too much detail here. But is this like, procedural cop show postmortem, or do you imagine something more like sci-fi here?
I'm kind of, if only to stay away from graphic gore, maybe there's something like a scanner. Maybe it's normally, I don't think we imagine that if someone dies on a ship, we're going to be doing a postmortem usually.
Right.
So maybe we are kind of tweaking the normal kind of care sensors to figure out like where the wounds are. Maybe we have to skip past a couple of menu items to get to, yes, we know that they're dead. Let's see what happened anyway. So yeah, I think it's a little bit we're not.
You go through. You have to actually scroll through the several legally required. Have you? Please shake them and say their name loudly. Do they respond?
Yeah, the auto doc is being very helpful. So yeah, maybe it's a question of kind of asking the auto doc the right questions to get past to a cause of death.
Cool. I think that as your scanner boots up and begins to sort of run its analysis, I think that, and let me know if this is okay. I know that we were kind of talking about your connection with the captain. And I don't think that, and I'm fine us keeping the captain largely unable to sort of work or take action. But I think that there is a kind of coughing from the captain's bed where you have left them. And actually, we never really gave the captain a name. Does anyone have a name for our captain, or?
Yeah, I think we had left that entirely blank in our setup. So I don't know whether anyone has any things that jump out at them.
Costs.
Cool. I think Koss coughs, and you can hear them murmuring, "Where am I? I need to get out of here. The ship's in danger. Who has me strapped down? Get these straps off."
Yeah, and I think we see kind of, Maze is very willing to stop poking around a dead person to answer the captain's concerns. But I think, there's maybe a little bit of a incongruity between her actions and her words, right? She's making sure that the straps are still tight while kind of maybe being a little bit soothing or saying, "Don't worry, Captain, we've got everything in hand." Maybe even saying, Blyss is coping with our current situation.
The captain nods. You'll keep an eye on Blyss, won't you? They mean well, but they are... I don't know if I like someone so new having command of the ship while I'm unable to command.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
I think they, yes. You'll just remember, when things come down to it, I trust your decisions, Maze, not Mixed Bliss's.
Well, if only everything were about healthcare, then I should think you're right. But in this case, I will have to advise Blyss to understand the ship and her crew a little bit better. But more to the point, the quicker you shut up and try not to get off your meds again, the quicker you'll be back on your feet.
Maze, you know that I
Are very
have never
bad
been
patient.
one for... I was going to say have never been one for medication, but we can agree to disagree on that.
I mean, I thought you just said you trust my judgment entirely.
I trust you to prescribe the medication, Maze. That doesn't mean that I have to take it.
Oh, I think you find, Cass, it means you do have to take it.
Very well, and they pop they take the medication and they look at you point blank. Did you make certain that nobody looked in the that nobody checked the containers?
They had popped open in the kerfuffle, but I had secured them before I think anyone could check. So I'm pretty sure no one else knows, though I think I might have to tell Blyss.
I think, would you like to make a roll here for reading another's thoughts? Because I definitely feel like this might come up here.
Okay.
Do you have the die room?
Yeah, I'm in it now. So plus 4. Okay. Snake eyes. Which is a miss, obviously.
Yeah, I know. This game, it's just, I think this is the theme of the game. We just none of the crew understands people. I will, though, go ahead and ask one off that list if you want.
I mean, I think I will ask, what does this character intend to do? I guess mostly in terms of maybe the question I'm asking is really, how can I get this character to just, lie down and heal and take their time getting back onto their feet?
Oh. Yeah, I think that they look to you and I think that it is about the containers in the ship. And I think that as you pick that up, they let's see here. Oh, I didn't have it. I didn't make a name for this character. Yeah, I think that they look to you and say, there's a name I'm going to give you, and I want you to make certain that the containers, what we have in the hold, goes to them. And can I trust you to manage that, Maze?
Sure. I mean, I can take on something like this if it'll put your mind at ease.
Yeah, and there is a man in the Aurelian Crown, Zenith, who I've promised the shipment to. I haven't told anyone on the ship, not even Mixed Blyss, but I'm telling you now because I need someone I trust to handle it.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Yeah. And I think it's at that point that as the captain again drifts off on the meds, that the scanner plings its completion. And I think that what you see is quite strange. That many of the organic parts of Mark have, according to the scanner, crystallized inside. And this is what has kind of this is what most likely caused his death.
So yeah, I think maybe I will do something like, record the results in the auto dock, and then maybe quarantine the corpse in some way, just to make sure that none of these crystalline infection, or whatever we're gonna call it, can get out.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And as we close on that scene, I am curious. After that meal where Panax found out that Mixed Blyss I'm suddenly blanking on our name for our kind of religious movement here.
relinquishment.
Yes, relinquished kind of love. I'm wondering, Panax, does that how does Panax leave the meal from there?
Oh, he's sulking. he'll go, yeah, no, yeah, and I'm glad you all are enjoying. Yeah, you all have a good night, and he'll take his plate and go to the bunks.
Oh yes, I think that definitely mix Blyss. You can definitely see, after that conversation with your brother, Panax immediately go downcast and leave the meal. I'm curious if Mix Blyss does or feels anything about that.
Well, I believe that last time I had tried to express my thanks for cooking up something really nice to Panax. But I don't think that he was really seemed to respond to as I had wanted to keep that connection or build that connection. I don't think that he had responded as much as I had wanted or would have liked.
You know what? Panax still needs to receive still has some goodwill and has been, I believe, promised gifts from this meal as one of your choices, right, Panax?
They feel obliged to repay me. Yep.
Yeah. I am curious. Does Mix Blyss do any crafts in their spare time?
Of course, as a veteran sailor of the stars, they have long done a sort of scrimshaw from a it's the type of mineral that is so common in the rings of what is the rings of the crown, that causes it to be so lustrous as well as amplify transmissions. So it makes for a wonderful carving medium. Panax, is there some token that from your childhood, a particular animal or plant or pet or something that you may have mentioned at some point?
Yeah, I think on the Abry's home planet way back, there was a species that kind of performs the role that we think of squirrels, kind of just around and cute, but they were also important pollinators. And I think in some ways they were kind of puppy-sized but cute bees.
And Blyss has a very stylistic way, sort of let's call it a rustic folk art style, with lots of embellishments of curls and spirals and and all sorts of lined patterns, and they when you bring the dish over, and I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I. Hey, hold on a second. And they run back. So this is at the. I think that you probably brought this to Blyss, right?
If Blyss didn't go to the galley, yeah, he could bring her something.
And so I think that they run to run over to their locker and pull out this carving scrimshaw piece, lustrous of this pollinator with all of this artwork carved into it. That this is just a little thing I've been working on. Thought you might enjoy it. I remember when you mentioned seeing these as a kid. It's just.
Oh no, this is great. That's thank you. That's lovely. Thanks.
So it's yeah, the thing it yeah. Oh, I thought it might, spruce up your bunk a little bit.
Yeah, no, that'll go great with the throw pillow. Yep. Thank you. I'm gonna just head over to my bunk.
Oh man, I do want to ask, is just from the way we've been playing this, is Mixed Bliss acting under pressure here?
So one of the things for act under pressure is try to hide the truth. Do you think that we are trying to hide a sort of feelings between us?
Well, Panax is definitely trying to hide how disappointed he is and any feelings he's having.
So I think that things feels like things are strained.
I mean, yeah, give me a roll here, Mixed Bliss, because I am curious what will happen from this. Give me a roll to act under pressure here. I feel like this is appropriate to where the scene has gone. Oh, you got a 7, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
So on a 7 to 9 for acting under pressure, you falter, buckle, or break. The GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Oh, you know what? I think there is this moment where like the tension has been simmering here for a while now from the way I hear it. And I think that this is the choice here, Mixed Blyss. Are you going to hold true to your to what you've given up, or I think that if you don't admit any feelings here, I think that Panax will definitely pick up on, like, you have made the choice to not pursue Panax right here and now.
So I think as Panax is turning to leave the officers' quarters, I follow after him for a moment and reach out my hand and catch him by the shoulder and say, hey, we're okay, right? I don't think that we can. I don't want things to be weird between us, and I feel like they are going in that direction. What I'm trying to, Panax, you're an amazing person, and I'm your commanding officer.
Yeah, no, it
I think Ben froze for me.
all those new people. It's fine. I'm fine. We're good.
Good. That I just don't want. I don't want things to turn sour. We're.
No, it's.
I just hope you like the carving.
No, I do, and you know we're both adults here. I'm 300. You're. It's good. We're fine. I'm fine.
And I think that I say some like a relinquishment, like benediction phrase, something that's like a parting thing.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, cool. That's great. Thanks. Enjoy the food. I will enjoy the yep. All right. Good night, Cap.
Night, Panax. Does Panax actually call them Cap?
As of today, yes.
Okay.
Great. Wonderful. So yeah, I think I feel like this is leading up because we are probably going to need to ask you, Panax, when you're going to change lovers.
End of the session. Yep.
Yeah, I think that we will fade there. And as we kind of put into port, I do sort of want to ask, first off, Maze, I know that you said to the captain that you would deal with getting this shipment delivered without letting Mixed Blyss know about it. How much was that actual, and like how much of it is how much do you actually plan on following the captain's plan?
Oh, okay. Because I guess when they asked me if I would take care of it, I understood I would manage it, but not that I would keep it a secret. But maybe
they did say
maybe
don't let Mixed Blyss know about it. I guess they didn't say anyone else.
Yeah. Maybe this is something maybe like a sharp was like thinking of, but when you roll a 4, the captain knows, right? And maybe they gave me a look, and I have to kind of say, yeah, definitely Mixed Blyss. So yeah, I guess I have to rely on Panax now.
Cool. So I think we'll jump over to what is like to your plan over there. But Mixed Blyss, as the ship puts into port, I think that you are a little bit surprised, as several of your crew members, I think notably, let's see here. Right, Cora and I think Zebron. Several of them have gathered with your sibling Endo, because they are all talking about like traveling with them to see this site that they are planning to claim for the relinquishment. I mean, it is something that Mixed Blyss talked about so passionately. Clearly, like, it's something they all need to see in person. Now, the problem is that definitely you are going to be short-handed if like so many of your crew like just go off on this trip with your sibling.
Yeah, and even though my speech was like inspiring, I'm still a little wary. Something seems off to me. So I need to make sure that the ship is staffed. It has enough people at least to keep things, keep a watch on things, make sure we get refueled and everything. See to managing while we're docked. So I'll as I see, a bunch of crew members get together and get ready to go, I'm like, wait, hold on. Sky.
Oh, Blyss, it is wonderful to see that there are so many spiritual seekers among your crew, Ecstasis says.
I honestly had no idea. Of course, the more people who walk the path, the better lives they'll have. We'll all have. Hold on. Sky, Zebron, we need to make sure that we have enough people manning the ship. I'll pick out a few crew members from the folks assembled to stay behind, and people that I know can manage themselves.
Oh yeah, give me a roll here for your crew. When you try to impose your will on your crew, roll plus beauty. Because this is definitely, you are specifically like making a demand of your crew here. Cool. That is an 11. So you get all through. They do what you want. They don't fight back over it, and they don't make mistakes. So yeah, I think Sky and I think Sky at least is like, really, Mixed Bliss? I was looking forward to some short leave. I mean, spiritual seeking and all that.
Well, make sure you'll have full shore leave next time we put into port, but you'll take your assignment.
I think
Step to it.
Yeah, Sky like goes into like snaps into like attention. It says, yes, Mixed Bliss. I'll get right on it. And Sky and Zebron kind of go scurrying off to their duties, and I think Ecstasis kind of gives you the eye. And you know who you sounded just like just now.
What are you talking?
You sound just like Dad.
And
that was your dad voice just now.
I knew that he was going to say that. Yeah, fine. We all grow up sometime. It's I have to keep these folks in order. It's when was the last time you saw our parents? Have you been home anytime recently? I
have not as much as I would like, but when I have the opportunity, when duties aren't calling me away, I try to make visits home. They do always ask if I've heard anything of you.
And a sort of almost like guilty look comes across my face. I'm like, I'm sure they know I'm doing fine. I'm always doing fine. I know I know my starboard from a port, and that's as good as I can do setting forward. What's this place that you're wanting to visit?
Oh, well, of course. It is a small planetoid, and I think he actually it's visible from where you are. It is a sparkling kind of orb in the near orbit, in the near space of this kind of ring. It is just over yonder. We have come here to make a very sincere proposition to the Exiba Mining Corporation, but they gift the planetoid to the relinquishment. I have prepared a very stirring a petition that I'm sure will move them. And I think Doe probably like gives you the eye roll when he says this, Blyss, because Doe does not believe that that is what is going to happen.
And I think is Maze around at this, like, as we're we just opened up the port where people are milling around, folks are getting ready to go on shore leave, refueling, if there's any shifting of cargo, perhaps.
I mean, I think at this point in time, Maze is just hanging around, maybe talking to Panax, maybe making contact with the planetoid's kind of medical facility, but doing nothing suspicious. Definitely not looking nervously at that cargo space.
Well, Blyss sees Maze over checking out a clipboard or a digipad and Blyss sort of like, I think I'm gonna shake my head, just like brush off this, like, what is my brother even talking about? What a petition? Yeah, I'm sure it'll go fine. You're very persuasive. Continue on the path, and hey, Maze, make sure you get the med bay restocked. We've gone through quite a bit of our supplies, I noticed. Is there and I don't think that there's too much that you need to be involved in. Are you planning on hanging around the ship?
Yeah, we gotta hear back from the medical center. But if all goes smoothly, or I get the all clear from them, yeah, I might catch a local brew.
Hey, you been around a little while. You know more of the folk. Are there really that many on the crew who are members of the relinquishment? They seem pretty involved, more than I expected.
Mix, Blyss, the willingness of a crew member, of a star sailor, to go balls deep into anything is directly proportional to how close to shore they are.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'd also say, like, the general sense you get of people's interest is that it's not necessarily relinquishment specific, but you have inspired a general interest in this thing as like an actual like spiritual or like special site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
more than I expected.
I think like Maze is specifically not saying this is your fault, right? So it's just explaining it in normal kind of ship crew terms to kind of avoid that mudsling that they definitely do.
Well, I'm going to head that way myself. Could you keep an eye on things while you're back here before you do your own thing?
Yeah, I'll make sure the kids behave.
I trust your judgment.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I'm going to join in with Ecstasis and that lot.
Cool. So, as we kind of shift from Blyss, I am curious. So, is Panax? I guess we want to plant a brief seed, but I do kind of want us to move. I think to like once we've made the decision here, like is how open is Maze being to Panax about like what the plan here is?
I think they are being pretty open. So, like, maybe as soon as Bliss's boots hit the dock, maybe Maze might like raise an eyebrow and go, "What's going on with you two?" But then, like, as soon as that conversation is done, it'll be, "So, the captain has asked me, and get in and just kind of lay it all out pretty plainly."
And I should also point out that Blyss was very intentionally avoiding eye contact with Panax while folks were milling around.
I imagine Panax as being like too friendly. Like, "Oh, Blyss, good to see you. Yeah. Sleep all right? Good morning?
Yeah.
Great.
Good. Hey, over there, make sure that sort of thing.
The great awkwardness has risen, right? So yeah, what the hell is going on with you two, Panax? Did I miss something?
Nothing. Nope, nothing. That's decidedly nothing.
Oh.
Definitely not a thing. So, yeah. No, it's cool. It's fine. It happens. It's just a little weird. It'll be fine.
Okay, well, I shall unravel that with you later over a bottle or two.
2, 3, yeah.
Okay. Shit, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's it's cool. It's fine. There's a million fish in the sea, right? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. So, yeah. What's up with you?
So, I had a quick word with the captain yesterday.
Oh, they're up?
No, I convinced them to like be a good patient for now. But they impressed upon me that I would have to complete a delivery without Blyss. Involvement of or knowledge of.
That's
So can you be my co-conspirator?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got your back.
Okay.
Always.
How much do you want to know?
Pretty much everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that shipment of boxes over there is full of weapons. Not military grade or anything, but definitely an eye raiser.
So we're smugglers.
I don't know. Maybe. Although when the captain says no one should know about this, especially not anyone I don't 100% trust, then yeah, I guess we're smugglers.
Cool. That'll look great on the old CV. And we have to drop them off where?
So I guess I have the details, right, Stephen?
Yeah. I think that you have enough details that you could locate the person once you make it into port.
Okay. So yeah, I guess some dive bar or other, we're gonna meet them there and then arrange the delivery.
All right. Yeah, that's exciting. And yeah, no, I'm in.
Okay. We're definitely like the two best qualified people to do this kind of thing on a ship, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've smuggled things, but mine are usually, herbs and spices.
Aubergines,
Yeah. Forbidden rock fruit. This is a little different, but I imagine that the broad strokes are the same. Don't let the authorities find it, and don't tell the captain.
Okay. So I guess we'll, take care of some normal business first. Make sure that our crew members aren't going to do anything silly, and then we'll go to this place. Check it out.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we got this. It's fine. It's going to be fine.
You see, like 5 minutes ago, when you were saying everything is fine, I definitely didn't believe you. But this time it's different, right? I definitely believe you now.
I mean, it's weapons. Maybe we want to look into who they're going to. Due diligence. Uh-oh.
I think we lost Dana there.
I think so.
Okay. So I think what we're going to, I think we'll kind of shift over then. I think, Blyss, you had said that you were accompanying your sibling to but yes, I'm wondering, I'll just oh no.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay, well, we were going to end things a little bit early, but I think we'll kind of do a couple quick scenes here and then wrap things up, because I don't know if we'll see if Dunna ends up being able to make it back online. But if his router's dead, that problem may not happen. But yeah, Blyss, what is? We kind of shift over because your brother had, as I said, been going to meet with the representative of the Exiba Mining Corporation here on this planet in order to, convince them to gift this planetoid to the relinquishment. How? Oh, yeah, I will ask, what is the kind of what is the kind of excessive luxury that decorates? Let me see here. I have Mardine's office in her Exhiba office.
So I think that let's see. One thing that's pretty difficult to come by. There's an practically extinct species of flowering plant.
Are these plants specifically from the Abry homeworld?
Yes, yeah. There are still, people have specimens if they can afford them, because they are not only are, extinct basically, they also are take very particular environmental needs to cultivate.
Well, it is wonderful to curate these specimens that might otherwise be lost to history, if not for, our generosity. But as you come in, some pleasantry. There are several NPCs in this scene, so I am not going to speak for them all. I'll treat this in a little bit of a kind of overview. Some pleasantries are made. Doe is as pleasant as you expect her to be. Well, I should say as pleasant as she is capable of. And I think that Mardine says, "No, oh, cool. Hey there, Donna. Glad that you were able to make it back."
Yeah, the reader just, I don't know, gave up.
Cool. We were just I shifted it over to Blyss for a moment while we waited to see if you reconnected, and we'll get back to you in a bit.
Sure, no worries.
But Mardine looks and says, "Now, what brings such?" And I think she looks very pointedly at the group. "Esteemed representatives of the relinquishment to my office." And your brother, as I said, kind of steps forward. He makes, what is a very impassioned argument for this donation. And Mardine, throughout all this, is looking a bit disinterested, is paging through some reports on her desk. And she, once he ends, looks up and says, "And so I take it there is no payment for this transfer?" And there's a bit of an awkward silence. Doe looks... this is probably like Doe is happy if only to be proven right.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a smirk that crosses her face.
And I should note, Mardine is blue-skinned. She has... I had never really described her as blue-skinned. She has hair I mean, is it dyed gold? Is it kind of flecked with gold? It's not really sure, but it is in like a kind of puffy like curl from her head. And surely the Exiba Corporation cannot simply trust its planets into the hands of other species. Look what happened when we allowed the Abri to curate their own planet. It was destroyed within a few centuries.
Are there any Abri here?
Is that out? Like, are you asking that, or
I'm Chet's asking that. Sorry.
okay? Yes, there are definitely Abri on this planet.
Okay.
They're not like in the room, but I mean, and of course, actually, I should note, Doe is Abri, so this is
right. I think that when I hear that, I sort of get a little bit of like puts me on edge a little bit. My skin sort of flushes, and I look to Doe, and I want to. I want to see what her take on that, since I know that she had something of a charged interaction with Panax. What her take is on the Exiba Corp saving the some aspects of the
I think Doge kind of has a very tight grin on her face. And says, I have to thank you, Miss Exiba, for living up to my expectations. And Mardine says, you are welcome. I am a friend to your people. I do give all the time. Just not planets.
And I'm going to, because I think that I had been sort of like hanging back behind the Doe and Ecstasis. And I'm going to step forward at that point and say, I'm sure that you've done as much as you can. Now, what did you say your name was?
You may call me Mardine.
Right,
and you are...
I'm just a humble sailor.
Yes. And she looks at her papers. So, no one then.
No one you need to worry about. So the offer from this is out of character. The offer from the church, was there any like higher up authority that was like trying to?
Yes, this meeting was already set up. That's why they got into the office.
Got it. So you get in touch with the church officials. You set up this meeting, or at least entertain the idea. Why would you even do that if you didn't intend on even considering the possibility? You had made a decision before you even heard what these two had to say. Did you make the decision, or did the corporation make the decision? Does it even matter? Never mind. We don't need to.
I think that this is actually manipulate another, and for NPCs, when you try to manipulate another, tell them what you want, and I hear that here, but then they ask you to promise something first. You're correct, we did have some interest. We have been having cultural, you might say, difficulties recently. What with the closure of our most recent mining outpost, it has led to the displacement of many to our little colony. And, well, let's say that some of the so-called unions of miners have been difficult. Now, surely it seems like with two officials of the church here, they might be willing to speak out against the unions, maybe simply get them to simmer down in some of their demands. Would that be amenable? And then we could consider that perhaps a sort of payment for this exchange. And so I guess this is what they are asking here, that this is what the corporation wants. They want the relinquishment to at least someone who says they are from the relinquishment to get the miners to go back to work.
And I think that there's been mixed relationship between organized labor and the organized church.
Yeah.
Even though there are some strains of thought in the relinquishment that are very supportive of labor movements. I think that as a whole, the church has preaches a mindset of well, you just, if you put your head down and keep walking the path, then you can you can really just have and you can enjoy your life when you set your mind to it and give up what you do not need.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the question is here: is this? Are you willing to make that promise? Because I'll note that this is just a prompt. They're asking you to make a promise here,
right?
And then the roll will tell us how much they are willing to trust that you will uphold your end.
Okay. I think I don't really have any love for the Exhiba Corporation, so I'm going to go ahead and make the promise. I'll say, yeah. I'm sure that we can have a rousing sermon. You know how the church stands on such matters.
Of course. And if you could give me a roll with beauty here. Oh.
I'm not seeing the result. I'm going to reload the page. Did it roll?
Yeah, you got a 5.
Ooh.
I think that she nods and says, wonderful. Once we see some results, I can assure you that it will be that the planetoid will be yours. And she has an assistant show you out. And I think it's the moment that you are out of the office. Ecstasis looks at you and says, how could you promise her that, Blyss? Are you that? I know that people have said, back home have said things about you, that you were selfish for leaving. But I didn't, he looks away, I didn't think that was true until I saw that in there.
Stasis, what are you talking about? It's just words. I didn't sign away anything.
You made a promise to betray all the people out here. And he kind of gestures out onto the streets.
And you're trying to secure an asteroid. What do you want from me? What are you trying to do here? What is the point of coming here if you're not set on a path? I'm
set on a path, but I'm not willing to do whatever it takes to keep on it.
I think at that, I just, again, shake my head as I don't know what he wants for me, what they want here. I feel like I'm not connecting to my brother, and I think that this is part of why.
I think, he storms off. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is part of how we've grown apart.
Mm-hmm. I think he storms off. Endo looks at you and says, give him time to cool off. And for what it's worth, I think that you have it right. If we handle this right, if we handle this well, we can make certain that we are able to get Exiba Corp to work with us, and hopefully Ecstasis will see that sometimes you have to make do with reality instead of words.
And yeah, I think at that I have a little bit like dough in my eyes. I guess has a little bit more. I think I understand dough a little bit more at that, because I know what it's like to make do with your situation, out in the stars. You have to sort of work with that, whatever comes your way.
Cool. And as we fade on there and come back in, so I do kind of want to, rather than like just getting back into that conversation of planning. So I guess the question is, it sounded like you were more or less either going to meet with Zenith or get more info on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Maze's idea was just to walk in and meet them. But maybe Panax, having done this before, has a different idea of figuring out who this.
I mean, you could walk in and meet them without like just carrying all of your delivery with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like bringing the goods to the meet first off. So, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, what does Panax advise? Do we just go and meet them and find out the lay of the land and see what the deal is first?
Well, without anything else to go on, that's our only lead. Panax would just he'd stress that we should maybe figure out where the guns are going before, if we're arming a scrappy upstart colony, that's cool. If we're arming the people stepping on their necks, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, not an expert, but it's not military grade, so I imagine it's scrappy rebels. The the people stepping on necks usually don't need smugglers to give them the weaponry, right? But who knows? Yeah, figure out who this guy is first.
Cool. So I think then maybe we are. Are we opening then at the scene of, like, at one of the bars on this colony? I think that was what we kind of talked about for the framing here, right?
Yeah, seems like the typical place to find out about, the recipient of smuggled weaponry, right? Is some dive bar, some a hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, and this is thoroughly a like, I should note that as you are walking through the streets are definitely, because I never really kind of pictured the colony. It is a colony that is sort of on one of the larger planetoids within the belt, within this kind of belt that is around the gas giant. It is, as I kind of mentioned with Exaba, Mardine, that there are like a large number of, you can tell, sort of itinerant people living on the streets right now. There, because of this, as we brought up with Panax's description, there is a planet that has recently sort of collapsed due to the mining efforts, and many people living on that planet have relocated here, but currently don't necessarily have a living situation. But the bar you have come to is thoroughly sort of a workers' bar. It is relatively crowded at this time, as there is not much in the way of work at the moment. But workers are around drowning some of their sorrows. There is, I think, a large kind of going off the kind of Dunnian look here, kind of blue-green aqua-ish skin. The bartenders, like I said, kind of blue-green aqua skin. I think probably white hair, kind of shaved on one side. And he is like very well muscled. He clearly has some history in working the mines himself. He looks at you and the two of you. Looks like we have new customers in tonight. Are you from let me see here. Do I have a... are you from Izian, or are you from somewhere out further?
We're from here and there, bit of everything. We're a mixed bag.
I'm from Bizul, and that's further out than I'd like to admit. But yeah, our crew is pretty mixed from here and there.
You're spacers then.
Yeah,
yes.
Can you not tell from our dashing wardrobe?
I think he looks at you, Maze, a bit doubtfully. He looks a little less doubtfully at Panax. I suppose you could say dashing, sure.
Panax will smile charmingly and kind of lean forward. Not so bad yourselves.
Well, at least, I mean, I try. Is there anything I can get you to drink?
Panax his eyes will gleam a little bit, and he'll go, "What is the best thing you serve here that I couldn't find anywhere else?" but isn't too expensive.
I see. Cheap and tasteful. My kind of man.
That's me.
He pours out, and he pours out what is sort of it is definitely a kind of thick and almost even like it's almost gelatinous. Like it's thick enough. And it's squeezed Aurelian jellyfish. You know, sometimes we eat it, but if you kind of mash it and let it ferment for a bit, it makes a drinking experience.
Yeah, I am in. One for yourself?
I'll have a Temurian ale.
Come on, Maze.
I mean, come on, Mace. You cannot visit the Aurelian Crown and not drink one of our famed jellyfish shots.
Oh boy. I mean, my usual rule is not to go anywhere near anything that is described as shots. That's how unadventurous I am. But okay, for you, Panax, I will stifle my gag reflex and go for it. Go for this jellied mess.
Okay, and he lays out three of these shots for you, and I'm curious. As you tip it back, I'll ask Panax this. What is what how does it taste? Like, why is it surprisingly tasty?
I think it has a surprisingly diverse flavor profile. You get hints of lavender, and then it kind of mellows into something like coffee, and then there's a sweet aftertaste, and it's like a built-in dessert. Like every shot is just a full course meal of flavor. But were you to burp, it would clear a room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Panax would have his shot, and he would just sit there in quiet contemplation for a couple of seconds, and then he'd look up and say, "That is amazing." Yes.
Well then, let me just and he pours you all out another shot.
He is Panax is very pleased by this, and he'll be inquiring.
Is Maze very pleased by this?
I mean, I think maybe Maze appreciates the flavor, but like I think for her digestive system, maybe she can feel this kind of sludge coat every like a millimeter of her digestive system on the way down, and it's like a slow kind of unfolding, and it just makes her I don't know, shiver inside. So I think when the second shot comes along, it's like, and then like passes back to Panax over her shoulder.
He's happy for that. You sure? I mean, oh, okay. Oh, if you insist. And aside from the just delightful drinks, we are actually here about business.
Well, I mean, if you're vendors, I already have quite a line on drinks, as you can see. And he gestures back at the at the drink rack behind him. Or is this a different kind of business you're coming here to talk about?
It is. We recently found ourselves in the delivery business. Right, Maze?
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't say recently. I mean, but for a very particular cargo, I guess we have recently been charged with delivering it. So I guess we're looking around for our customer.
I see. And are you looking for directions, or?
Yeah, I guess we have a name and a very general idea of where to find them. So I guess here is where we're starting.
All right, all right. I know most of the people here in the colony. Do you have you know who you're looking for? You got a name,
yeah.
right?
We do have a name, yeah. Donna, though, is not quite sure whether it's Zenith or Xenon.
Zenith.
Okay. So yeah, I'll pass that name over to our friendly barman, whose name we haven't gotten either yet. So.
I could pass you along to him. I should think. What exactly are you you looking for him for? What's this delivery you're making?
Oh well, I mean that's his business and not yours, right? I'm sure you understand.
Well, I'm sure you understand that with the kind of business Zenith's in, that he'll want to I can't just pass anyone on to him.
And what type of business is he in?
Yeah, he leans into you. The Union.
Oh. Right on. Yeah. No, then we are definitely on the same page.
Yeah, we're a union ship ourselves, you know.
Well, yeah, he... And I think he goes, I see, and you crew wonder, who is it then?
Well, that's a little complicated, but usually costs for the Fast Folly.
And he gives a nod. Right, costs. Well, in that case, I should introduce myself. I'm Zenith local union organizer. And it's a pleasure. He holds out his hand to you, Panax.
Panax will shake it. He's got a little grin on. Hold the hand second longer than necessary. Say, good to meet you as well.
Mm-hmm.
and Panax.
Is Panax changing his love now?
Yes. Absolutely.
Give me a roll here.
Can I help?
I don't
Can I
think for
help on
this
this
one.
roll?
I hope
It's
not this
not a
one.
wingman role.
This is whether like you change loves without strings without like things becoming messy. So give me a roll with beauty here. We'll probably
That's a
change
12.
what the miss is, but cool. It's a 12. So yeah, you switch loves without anything more complicated than the fact that Blyss has already kind of made some promises regarding the union. And I think he gives you definitely a knowing, definitely a friendly smirk, Panax, and says, "Oh, I think I'm going to enjoy doing business with you lot."
Feelings mutual.
Cool. And I think that this is a good point. We're coming up here. So we're running a bit long, but I think, well, not running a bit long. I think that we will fade out there. And I think that rather than running for another hour, we'll wrap up here tonight because and kind of wrap Donna in next session. I think that this is kind of a good point. We've kind of introduced some of the main conflicts here. But does that work for folks? I just wanted to check in. Or does anyone have anything they wanted to do before we kind of close things? Cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing with everyone next week. I'm going to take us off the air now. And so bye all.